Here, of course, Uncle Lou joining us on a Tuesday this week because of the holiday and everything. Look at him. He's all relaxed back there. Lou, are you done Christmas shopping is the bigger question.
In a normal year, it would be Amazon, and I would be done by now. However, because of this house remodel, our inspection is today. Please, everybody, think positively.
Prayers
My
to
wife and I
Lou.
decided that my wife and I decided that we were just gonna, we have so much CRAP to buy for the house that we decided that we're just gonna do that. We got stuff for my sons, her mom. Last night, my son that works for Sims Business Systems took his boss and son with his significant other and my wife and I to the Capitol Grill for a nice dinner. And so that was great to have the kid pop and everything. We both really didn't want him to do it, but he did it anyway. And
Capitol Grill's good too. Yeah.
It was really good. Capitol Grill never misses. And I guess the only thing that perplexed me was that Dale mentioned something about receiving an envelope with some hundies in it. I got nothing but air over here.
Well, I you're not on our Christmas list yet. I thought you would be gone 8 years ago, Lou, for crying out loud. But what I'm curious about with you,
here you go, Lou. This is what you're missing, Lou.
Yeah,
beautiful pictures of the Hellestraes.
Yeah,
get on them about. Look at this. Look at this.
Look how good I am.
Wow. Look how fancy this is. That's from the Hellestraes.
I know Dale designed that.
Yes, I did. I spent about 2 hours on it. Lou, the only thing I want to know with you about Christmas, are you having a big meal, or do you got a menu? You grilling? You smoking? You do anything, or the new house has just perplexed you?
The new house has thrown, and the timing of this inspection has thrown some challenges our way, but nothing will deter the thought that this is Christmas, and I drive from where I live now to the place I want to return to soon enough, and I see the streets of Phoenix with, blight and poverty, and how dare I think poorly that I may not be here or there for Christmas.
Right,
so
right.
I'm trying to keep the focus on what it really should be, and that is I'm a Catholic, so it's all about Jesus Christ for me. So that's where my focus is. And to answer your question, yes, today, when I get done here, I'm going to start to prepare the pulp for the Sicilian bacalao. A lot of people call it bacala, which is codfish. It's a traditional Sicilian dish because Christmas Eve is always no meat for Catholics. So we get a cheese pizza from Spinato's for my wife and mother-in-law. My son and I eat this bacala, which is cod, onion, capers, olives. It's an extremely acquired taste. Even the Sicilians in my house, only half of them eat it. They can't stand.
That's a good way of putting it.
Smell, because the capers and olives are real, but man, it is gourmet. So that is Christmas Eve. So it's a little cheese pizza, big huge bowl, almost like a stew soup, and then Christmas Day will be the Finicaro sugu, which is the Italian pasta sauce. I got meatballs, 7-bone roast, pork neck bones, and salsiccia all go into the pot. That'll start stewing on later today, go all day tomorrow, and then that'll probably, if we're at home, I'll transport it to home to heat it up on Christmas. If not, we'll have it out here. Either way, we'll figure it out. But surely family food is tied into our holiday.
Yeah. I love it. I love it, Lou.
Last week, during a commercial break, he was trying to get his range delivered to his house and everything. So he's just itching to get there and use that bad boy. Is what he's waiting to do here. So that means if the occupancy or the inspection goes well today, that means you're good to go, right? You can move back into the place.
Yeah, actually the pod is unloaded. There's stuff all over my kitchen. My range is set up and hooked up. The new refrigerator's hooked up. Everything's ready to roll. So if we get the okay, then we'll just adapt and do the best we can do. It will probably still be out here for Christmas, but 1 or 2 days ain't gonna matter. As soon as we get the green light, we're going.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome. That's awesome.
Finally, fine. Because I told you last week, you're stressing me out with this thing. I'm stressed. I can't sleep at night, man. Just thinking about you doing this.
I would just say this to anyone out there. If you're thinking of a remodel, think again. Don't do it.
Well,
don't do it.
Well, it's fun.
Do not do it.
How long has it been? Lou, how long has it been?
Yeah.
7 months.
And how long did they say originally it would take is the bigger question.
Well, listen, we thought Thanksgiving was real, and it was as real as the man on Mars.
You're in real estate.
Then,
you do
we're hoping for Christmas, and really, again, at the end of the day, I'm going to have this. Everything looks great. New AC. It's going to be great. I just got to, figure out when.
Be patient. You'll be fine. You'll get to enjoy it for the rest of your life. So that's cool.
That's what I joke around with. I mean, you're in the commercial real estate business, and I do residential real estate where we have rentals and stuff. And I always laugh because people like the management company that handles my stuff will be somebody will move out and they'll be like, "Hey, can you have it ready in like 2 weeks?" And you go, "Oh yeah, it's easy. Just a paint job, new flooring, quick and easy. We'll get that out there." A month later, you're like, "Oh my God, we're still working on it. We had to do this and this." And it never goes as smooth. That's with nobody in them. That we deal with that. So I can only imagine when you're itching to get back into the place and at your home and stuff to that effect. I always laugh. I remember I laughed when you said last time, "Oh, it'll be quick and easy." And I was all like, "Oh, God, good luck."
Yeah, that's because I'm stupid and dumb.
Well, we all do it. I even do that too, where I'm like, "Oh, yeah, no problem. Give us 2 weeks to get that place ready." And then you find out it's a major piping issue or something, or you can't get this stuff in. It's ridiculous to deal with that. But
Merry Christmas to you, Lou. I hope you're in your new house. If you're not, you'll survive and you'll make it work. Mike, I want to get into this gambling thing because I want to ask you your thoughts on this. When a team gets eliminated from playoff contention, do you take that into consideration when you're looking at games that you're going to bet on, gamble on, or is that a non-entity for you?
That's a great question, and it segues us into probably my most adamant stand last week, which was the Chiefs in Tennessee. I refuse to think there was a letdown for the Chiefs. I firmly believe today there was no letdown for the Chiefs. At one point, that's a 9-6 ball game with Minshew in. When Minshew goes, my handicap falls apart. So I'm not making excuses, but I hung I planted my flag on Kansas City having the better coach, the better quarterback, the better depth of the team, and I believe they were gonna win that game, but the Minshew thing happened. Okay, I take the loss. To answer your question, no, I don't, Dale, because and I want your feedback on this. To me, and my point was Minshew isn't going to go out there and go through the motions. He's playing for a contract, or his job, or another team. Noah Gray, well, Kelsey's probably gone. Noah Gray ain't going to slough off. He's playing to be a starting tight end, and the dude's apt. So I don't buy that teams quit. I just have never bought it. I don't believe anyone that's been in a huddle could have that thought process. Psychologically, can it affect a team? Yeah, I suppose maybe. I mean, this week, we've got New Orleans and Tennessee. Some of these games I didn't even handicap because I don't know how to handicap games but I'm trying to focus now in on teams or games that have two teams playing for something to get me ready for the playoffs. But at the end of the day, and I want your feedback, Dale, I don't think that any player quits. The eye in the sky is always rolling.
Let me tell you where it affects teams, because I've been in situations to where you're in it till week 14 and then you get eliminated. The excitement around the team, the preparation, the practice week is blah. Now, when you get on the field on Sunday, you're going to give your best effort, but you're not preparing the same way you were in previous weeks. And usually that ends up rearing its ugly head on game day, especially if you're playing against a team that has something to play for.
Yeah.
And that's what I would look at, because I've been in those situations. I've told Steve it was like 1998, and we played New Orleans on Christmas Eve. It's a Friday, and we had to win to get in, and we lost. So then 5 things had to happen Saturday and Sunday for us to make it to the playoffs. We went in. We went in. Like 3 of them were on Saturday, 2 of them were on Sunday. We went in. The 3 on Saturday, we cleared our lockers out. We were done. 3 things happened on Saturday. We're like, oh no. 2 things happened on Sunday. We're like, what? We're back at it on Monday. We proceeded to go play Minnesota. That was when they had Randy Moss and that crew, and I think they beat us 40-something to 7 or something like that. Not the guys weren't trying, but up here you weren't really there.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared that with us, because I will now take that information forward. I hadn't uncovered or really thought of that angle before, but coming from a player that's been around championship teams, I appreciate you sharing that, because I'll incorporate that now moving ahead.
Good enough.
Yeah, I mean, because and I'm not making fun of you, Lou, at all. But I mean, you're adamant, like last couple of years, right? When you've been on this program, you've been adamant, guys don't quit out there, and I'm just kind of like, maybe not. Maybe like you said, maybe not Gray, right? The second he might not, but is the preparation there? Like, are the linemen, are they just trying to get through? Like we saw it with the Cardinals this Sunday. Are you just trying to get through a game without having a serious injury to where you're rehabbing for the next, 6 to 8 months of the off season and things to that? And so I wouldn't say it's a quit or whatever, but it's a cautious mentality here by some of these guys where they call them business decisions, right?
The intensity is definitely.
You go out on a football field cautious, you're going to get hurt.
Well, that's the issue, right?
You can't think that way.
Right. The intensity is not there.
No second stringers. The second stringer, the third stringer, I won't buy that there's anything.
I would agree with that.
There. The team as a whole, and okay, maybe there's a little bit of a letdown. I'm going to have to deal with that cloud, but don't tell me no third string guy getting his opportunity ain't going to be busting ass.
You saw that in the Cardinals game. That what was his name, Kreiner or something, that running back?
Yeah.
He was running the ball hard, and going and putting himself on film, things like that. And then they went away from him for some reason. Like you could see those sparks. But I kind of put it towards a like a preseason mentality. It's kind of what I look at this time of year on teams that are eliminated, right? They're going to go out there. They're trying, but they're also, like Dale said, the intensity's not there. It's as soon as that whistle's blown, you're like, all right, phew, all right, next play. Let's go do it. You lose some of that intensity with not everybody, but if enough guys do it, you kind of get that side, which can lead to those types of games out there.
I got one other question for you before we get into the nuts and bolts of it. Lou, I found myself last night like unconsciously cheering for Phillip Rivers.
Of course.
How much fun is he? 45. How much fun is he to watch?
44. Let's not get too crazy.
He turned 45 here shortly.
He just turned 44 the day he signed or something like that. Yeah.
I didn't get to watch much of the game because I was eating a steak au pauvre.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But I'll say this. Here's Phillip Rivers, 4 or 5 years removed from the NFL. And he's not the fastest guy. He's not going to make anybody miss. But the connectivity is there. That's the toughest position in sport. He's got it here. He's showing himself well. He's better than 5, 6, 8 quarterbacks currently commandeering NFL teams. I got nothing but respect for him. All it does for me is reinforce that my quarterback guy I'm picking is a guy like the kid in San Diego, Herbert. I got to have the tools, but I must have this. You can have Lamar. You can have some of these, the kid in Chicago. You can have these athletic guys, and they do deal fits to defenses, but my kid got to be here. And to me, I love this game. If you could pick your own NFL team, the history of the NFL, and you got positions, and you get 2 at quarterback, I'll tell you mine right now: Steve Young, John Elway. Why? because they got this and they got that. And one's a lefty, one's a righty. Anybody else, you take any other two, you're going to be second, third, or fourth because I'm number one with those two.
How about giving me Brady and Peyton Manning?
Yeah,
I'll take you on.
I know. That's the
There
problem.
you go. Well, again, both of those guys got this.
Well, I was saying to Dale, if you didn't see the game last night, I was saying to Dale beforehand, the quarterback position, it is very important. Don't get me wrong, but it has changed completely. And it was on full display last night where Phillip Rivers is second week with the team and he's moving guys around. He's pointing out Mike linebackers and blitzers. He's pointing at them, and he's having a receiver and telling a receiver to go a different route. You don't see that anymore in the NFL with these younger quarterbacks. No, Kyler Murray does it. The Ravens quarterback doesn't do it. A lot of guys don't do that anymore. It's the old way of doing things, and it's definitely a decrease here in the quarterback position.
And I kind of missed it. I mean, he talked he talked more before a play than we talk in 2 hours on this show.
And he's a grandpa. He's got kids.
Yeah.
They were all there last night. Did you see the suite?
How can you get a better story? I love the guy. I love the story. I love everything about it.
Yeah, and it is kind of sad the Colts are going the opposite direction. It's not his fault by any stretch of the imagination, but the Colts are going the opposite way now because of some other injuries. But hey, Lou, it's our last show here of the week. We'll be back. You're coming on next Tuesday still, right? Or what? Let's just get that out of the way early.
But it'll be the regular 9 a.m. hour, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Although that's being said, Steve, I'm flexible. You let me know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll talk to. I don't know if Bruce is coming in next week, so let me talk to him. We're doing some programming here, but I just wanted to make sure so everybody knows you're still coming on next Tuesday. As well, with the New Year's coming up with everything happening. So, but then right before the holidays, everybody's sitting around, everybody's off of work, or a lot of people are. Just do a quick intro to where you are, your changes going into this new year with your website and everything. Let's get that all done.
Not a lot of changes, but what I'm able to do is through the help of many members over the last 2 years, I was able to pay for and create a new Gamblou webpage, www.gamblou.com. There is the one stop where you can find out everything about me, the sports I work. I'm a sports handicapper. In a few weeks, we will have a recap of the year that's not going to look great. It's going to look great for the NFL, and it's going to look great for the College World Series. But hockey and UFC, we're losing sessions this year. That doesn't happen often. And I can't wait to tear back into it next year. My reaction next year will be to take the About Business podcast from behind a paywall out into the open. It'll be right on the Gamblou webpage, or it'll be wherever you access podcasts. As Kobe is doing right now, he's highlighting the tabs at the top of the webpage. That's where you go to find out everything about me. But at this time of the year, there's no more important button, tab, or message than the far right, the San Xavier Del Bach mission in just south of Tucson. The oldest mission in the country. It's the oldest mission, obviously, in Arizona as well. It was built in the late 1600s. And you can see the structure there. They do great work down there. Gamblou regularly contributes to that cause, and we invite anyone else to just by accessing the direct link to the mission down below in red that's flashing. Kobe does such a great job behind the scenes for us. And thank you, Steve and Dale, for letting me mention.
Absolutely. And Dale is going to have a beef with you, though, Lou. First of all, I appreciate the shout out on your blog there. Of course, check out Lou's blog every week. Whether it's UFC or NFL, it's informative in that. But he's going to complain to you that he wasn't mentioned in your blog. But that's what he does. Though.
It's a good thing my eyes are so bad I couldn't read that small print. But if I'm not mentioned, then you need to update your damn webpage.
Well, I didn't have 5 paragraphs to put all your accolades on, so it was a space thing, and they were surely desired.
Nice recovery.
I just wanted to rub it in a little bit, Lou, because everywhere I go, it's Dale, and I'm like, I'm on the show too, guys.
Man, he's the dude with the
I know. And it was the same way when Izzy was here before, he went back and was having success in Chicago. Everywhere we went, it was Izzy, and I'm like, you guys know I'm on the show too, right? So I appreciate the shout out, and I'm giving Dale a hard hard time.
Chicago. It is.
But the blog's up there right now as well for you. A holiday message from Lou and all that. And, of course, it's the time of year. I did a story on the business show yesterday about how charitable giving is down this year for a lot of reasons. You know, people are paycheck to paycheck with this economy. So, you give back through the investing side of things. If you want to give on that side, consider it. And, and it's
this
a good thing. This
economy about to bust. In 2026, hold on to the reins of your horse because this thing going to bust.
I like it.
I said
I like the positivity there as well. But Lou, we got some NFL games this week. A lot now. The playoffs are basically set at this point. Not the seedings, but we know, especially in the AFC, we know who is basically in, with only a couple teams still fighting to get into those spots there. A lot of teams kind of eliminated or on the outside with very slim chances to get in from that perspective. Kind of the same thing on the NFC side as well. So a lot of games, like you said, you're not really looking at them, and a lot of people aren't looking at them going forward, like Jets Saints this weekend. I mean, that was last weekend. I apologize, everybody. Got the wrong schedule here. I watched some of that game last week. Don't ask me why, but I watched some of it. Cowboys Commanders on Thursday. It's kind of a sneezer. But the Lions-Vikings game coming up here this weekend. I don't know if you want to talk about Cowboys-Commanders, if there's a play there. Both teams eliminated, of course. But Lions-Vikings. Lions are fighting for their playoff lives going to this game. The nice thing about this is Vikings are 7-8. Vikings win this game, they're going to be tied with the Lions here. So Lions could actually finish fourth in this division, folks, if it goes that way as that. So playoff implications a little bit, but also pride and, realistic expectations for the Lions kind of shooting down here as well going into this game on Thursday here for Christmas Eve.
Well, I figured
Thursday.
I prepared the DVOA for most of the games, surely Arizona, because I knew you'd want to talk about it, especially tomorrow's game. So we can get to Dallas, but I'll address Detroit, Minnesota, since that's where you focused first. And really, I look for a very interesting game. There's one unit that doesn't fit, however, okay? Detroit, I'm surprised Pittsburgh made them look that feeble last week because Detroit's a big physical team. Mm-hmm. But what we don't understand is how much evolution Tomlin has instilled into the Steelers over the course of this season. The Steelers are not the team now they were at the beginning of the year. And if you think they are, you need to go back and do some study. So Detroit's a balanced offense, 3rd-ranked DVOA, 11th ranked on defense. They're 17th against the run. The good news for Minnesota is they're not really a rushing team, 17th rush rank on offense. However, Minnesota's defense is 6th ranked, so that matches up with Detroit. What doesn't is the Minnesota offense, 29th ranked via DVOA standards, 28 pass, 17 run. And I think that's the flaw here. Even though this game is in Minnesota, I think Detroit is the more balanced team. I'm not really so sold on all those points. That's a lot of points, 6 points right there. And that game opened Detroit 3.5. So what we're seeing is, well, everybody's feeling like I feel on Detroit. There's been some serious action on them. If you're going to bet this game, I would be patient, see if the Detroit flow continues. And I might, if I could get to 6.5 or 7 with Minnesota on a division game with everybody playing as much as they are playing for, the 7 would be a no-brainer on Minnesota. But right now, 6 or 6.5 is very tempting. And it's only Minnesota or pass in this game if you're looking at the points.
Before we get into more games with you, Steve,
yep.
I just want to get your take on this. Did you sit there in August and think that Denver, New England, Jacksonville would be the top 3 seeds in the AFC?
Surely not New England. No. I did have very at the beginning of the year, I took at plus 750 Denver to win that division, did, yeah. But I also took at the same odds plus 750 San Diego, the Chargers to win the division.
Right.
So I knew that if one of those two win the division, I'm going to net a plus 5 to 1. And that's where I am, and that's where I get. So, yes, I've been high on Denver all year long. Everybody wants to criticize Nix, but he's got a good coach. He's making an evolution. He's winning a lot of close games. And in my opinion, the absolute best thing that could have happened to Denver was Jacksonville coming in and punching them in the snout last week.
Right. It's just interesting because it's like it's all topsy turvy now. All the teams that you used to believe were at the top, now they're somewhere down.
Yeah, Lou was high on Denver. I was high on Jacksonville. I picked them. I have a long-standing bet that they're going to win that division. Hey, sometimes we win by sticking our necks out there, right, Lou?
Sometimes, hey, listen, I think in late October it was 14-1. I released Denver on this show.
I believe so. Yeah, I mean it was a huge number. Hey, let me ask you about this. I mean, because the Lions need a win or they're eliminated. If they lose, they're eliminated. If they win and Green Bay loses to Baltimore, then if Green Bay wins, then Detroit is out as well going into this weekend. J.J. McCarthy had a hand injury, was out of that game. Did this line move a lot because of J.J. McCarthy's injury, and we're not sure if he's even going to play in this game on Thursday, or is it just more of Detroit needs this win and people are betting they're going to get it done?
No, I think you're right on the first count, Steve. I think that the McCarthy unknown is affecting this team, and even with McCarthy, 3.5 or 4 is probably right. McCarthy is streaky, sometimes on, sometimes not. Minnesota's got a decent defense, and to me, the Detroit elixir for Minnesota will be to run the ball with those two running backs. Boy, this kid Gibbs and Montgomery, that's a really nice thunder and lightning pairing.
Well, you know the one thing about Detroit, you mentioned the running game. They still got the running backs, but the horses up front have been dinged up a little bit.
And that's where the change in that whole team's demeanor has been. And you and I both, know, I prescribe. All I do is talk about the horses.
Right.
And the horses aren't the tippy-toe guys catching the passes or throwing the passes. The horses are the front 7 on defense and the front 6 or 7, depending on how many tight ends you're running out there on offense. If you got the horses, you got a shot to go far and deep in these playoffs.
Yeah, it's interesting. Hey, on the other game on Christmas Day, Cowboys-Commanders, the only thing that kind of shocks me on this, and obviously it's going to be a well-watched game, Christmas Day game here for this, but Cowboys are 7-point favorites going to this game. Now, they were eliminated last week, and I'm just going to say it. They struggled last week after being eliminated. You know, Eagles won that game on Saturday. Is 7 a high number here? Because Quinn has the Commanders still playing well, and with Mariota as a receiver, is there a play here on Dallas or on Commanders here being underdogs by 7 points in this game?
Well, we talked in Minnesota and Detroit about how the Minnesota offense doesn't really fit with the other platoons, and this is a game that has the same thing. 24th ranked Washington offense, even with Mariota in there. 29th ranked defense. Dallas, 32nd ranked defense. However, the Dallas offense is 7th ranked. They got a little running game, and Dak's passing it. And so the Dallas offense, I think, is just too high octane for Washington. And I think my move there would be to either tease Dallas down, play them in a money line somehow. I don't like giving 7 points in a division hatred game because even the third stringers hate each other in those two cities. So I would find a way to invest in Dallas, but not at 7. I'd manipulate that point spread down somehow.
Lou, I got to ask you, isn't there something below 32nd that Dallas's defense could be in?
If there was, they'd be there. But you know what? Schottenheimer, Dallas has overachieved for me so far this year, and some of the setbacks have been interesting. I like Schottenheimer more than I thought I would. It's just that no matter who is the coach and no matter what the core and the nucleus of the team is, I think they're going to have a very, very difficult time overcoming the ineptitude of the management.
30 years, Lou, since the Cowboys have been to an NFC Championship game.
And how long's Jerry owned them?
Yeah, about 37 years. Yeah,
that's right. There it is.
Hey, so
I bet you Lou had a full head of hair 30 years ago.
I did. I can tell you that.
I was in Hell Week when Dallas and Denver. Dallas blew Denver out one year. I was in Hell Week, and I remember walking by and all these guys being in a room drinking beer, watching the game, and I was wearing manure and I had hair and a burlap T-shirt, and I had the gall to ask him if I could come in and watch the game. I ended up out in the front yard with a shovel in my hand.
Hey, the other game on Christmas Day is Broncos Chiefs. Again, same type of a situation. 12.5. We don't know who the Chiefs quarterback's going to be. They're signing guys off the street at this point. Minshew, not as bad of an injury as they feared, but he's just going to miss some time. But the Broncos got, quite frankly, embarrassed last week with Jacksonville in their home stadium. They go to the Chiefs this week here, but 12.5-point favorites. I'm assuming a lot of that's quarterback stuff for the Chiefs, but also I'm kind of on the side of Broncos were embarrassed last week against Jacksonville. I'm expecting a big rebound here from Broncos this weekend. Anything to look at here with that 12.5-point spread?
Yeah, I mean, you have a decent Kansas City offense, but again, now you're missing the top two quarterbacks, so that changes everything. The bounce I see coming from Denver is going to be on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know how Kansas City's going to score. I look for Denver here. Now, this look ahead was 5.5. Now the line's 12.5, and that's reflective of both of those quarterbacks. I look for a big Denver defensive bounce as they prepare for playoff football. I don't think there's any distractions in Denver this week. And meanwhile, in Kansas City, Andy Reid's probably doing a, diagnosis on who's going to be there with him, who isn't. And so it's hard to calibrate their motivation.
Yeah, and I don't think he's officially announced, but the word on the street is he's coming back for another season next year in the Chiefs. Plus all the talk around the Chiefs, right, isn't the Chiefs. It's them moving their football stadium to Kansas here coming up, when they build one there.
Which is going to be, first of all, the Kansas side is cleaner. There's more space. Olathe is where my sister lives.
Yeah.
I am all about it. I've been going, years ago, I saw Jimmy Harbaugh play quarterback for the Colts in a playoff game against the Chiefs. I went to Chief opening games all the time. I love the Chiefs. I love the stadium complex. But to move it to the Kansas side, kudos for them. It's going to be state-of-the-art awesome.
Okay, so having said that, do you feel the same about maybe the Bears being the Gary Bears?
The Gary, Indiana Bears.
Again, when we talk about the Bears now, we're going back into the realm of Woody Johnson and Jerry Jones, complete ineptitude. That ownership group is hindering the Bears, despite the fact that this young coach is doing really marvelous things with them this year. The Bears, man. I don't know what to say. I wish them nothing but the best. I grew up a Bears fan. My dad was a Bears fan. Gail Sayers was from Omaha, my hometown. I went to Bears Super Bowl, sat with the ownership. I've been pleased and privileged to have access to Bear playoff games and such, and no one loves them as much as me, even though I'm not a fan anymore. But unfortunately, Mrs. McCaskey and the McCaskey family got to get out of there.
Yeah, Gary, Indiana. They'll revitalize Gary there, right? Hey, Saturday here, we got a couple big playoff games here coming up in terms of seeding and stuff. First game on Saturday is going to be Texans-Chargers. 2:30 p.m. kickoff here for this game. Texans, quietly, they started off terrible of the season, currently at 10 wins right now in that division. Chargers with 11 wins here, fighting for their playoff, seeding as well here coming up. Tell us about this game and what you're looking at.
Yeah, I'm a big Harbaugh fan. I like the Chargers here. I think the only thing that doesn't fit is both offenses. Chargers 18th, they struggle to run the ball, 20th ranked, or these are DVOA numbers. And the only thing worse than the Charger 20th ranked rushing offense is the 29th ranked Houston rushing offense. And Houston has totally overachieved because they have everything except offensive horses. The offensive line in Houston has totally overachieved. It's a smoke and mirror show. Great as that defense is, they're incomplete on offensive line. I made a release earlier this morning on VSIN. It's going to be published tomorrow. I am going to publish it here today towards the end of our show. It's a 3-team 10-point tease, and it involves this game. And we'll get to it in a little bit in a few minutes.
Perfect.
Let's not forget to make sure I release that.
Yep. Over-unders 39.5 in this game. I agree. I mean, the Texans, just their field goal unit, they don't score a lot. Chargers are happy winning, a slugfest here in that game. But big implications. Then you got Ravens-Packers coming up. I mean, Ravens on the outside looking in on the playoffs. Last week, I just don't know what this coach, they sat down Derrick Henry at the end of the game. And they've had to answer those questions all week now on why. And Harbaugh just says, "Oh, we'll make sure we don't do that again." So to me, it's almost like have the Ravens coaches quit at this point against the Packers, who need a win as well here. 9-5-1 for them for their playoff chances after losing Micah Parsons. From that perspective, what are your thoughts on this game? Both teams outside looking in, by the way.
My thoughts are that I'm greatly distressed on what happens in Baltimore over the last 5 years, whether it be in playoff games or whether it's this game on the offensive side of the ball with this Monken calling plays. Far be it from me to criticize a legit NFL coach, been around for a long time, but the offensive mindset and direction and leadership in Baltimore is and has been completely flawed. It was totally exposed in that game. I mean, here's New England with a putrid rush defense, and the King is just charging through them, and then they all of a sudden quit. There's no way to explain that. And I just think that Baltimore has an awful lot of work to do. I'm not sold on the Super Bowl capability of the quarterback, so that's a big issue. And I'm absolutely not sold on that defense, which is ranked 16th DVOA, 18 against the pass, 9 against the run. It has gotten better over the course of the year, but that's because it's so easy to pass on that team.
Yeah, I'm actually rooting for I root for the Ravens, kind of they're one of my teams, and I'm kind of hoping they miss it. Maybe they'll finally make a change on their head coach. So.
Yeah, sorry for that breakdown then. No, I think Green Bay's...
Lou, I've been on the John Harbaugh needs to go bandwagon for about 4 or 5 years now, to be honest with you. And everybody looks at me like I'm nuts. But I've had enough of it, and I think I went through the same thing with Brian Billick with the Ravens. They held on to him about 2-3 years too long before they moved on to him. It just seems to be with the, consistency is one thing, but holding on too long is another thing, for those teams. But even then, the Packers, not sold on them at all either. With both these teams fighting for their playoff lives going into this game. So
yeah, I think the Packers are kind of sleepy, under the radar, and could be a really, really dangerous team. They're balanced. They have decent defense. They have fine offense. I like the coach as well. I think the NFC could find itself being really, really wide open. And somebody out at like a Green Bay, I think, could make some waves. I think
they got to get in first. With their 9 wins, I mean, they're behind the Panthers, but they're behind, more importantly, the 49ers and Rams, and even the Eagles here. Eagles probably the best shot for them to catch, but 49ers and Rams with 11 wins. So that's kind of what their uphill battle is with those 9 wins. They've got to win out and hope somebody else loses on that side for the Packers, and it's got to start this weekend against the Ravens as well. So it's amazing the teams that are going to miss the playoffs this year, guys. If you think about this going into this season. Go ahead.
Well, you're exactly right. Yeah. It's amazing who's going to miss. And so what does that matter? In the AFC, there's no Mahomes. Yeah. There's no Lamar. So to me, it's all about the Bills, and there's no excuse for Jared Allen. Yeah, the Bills got a shoddy, terrible defense, but this is the opportunity of a lifetime for the Bills.
Especially with the experience in the playoffs, right? You're going to have a lot of younger teams that don't have that playoff experience coming up. Speaking of the Panthers, Seahawks-Panthers are on Sunday here coming up this weekend as well. Panthers 9-7, fighting for that division right now. Seahawks at 12 wins. They're fighting for not just the division, but also the number 1 seed here. Going to Carolina here this weekend. Any chance, anything you can play here on the Panthers in this game? By the way,
You know,
Seahawks
they're
are
not-
7.5-point favorites in this game. So,
Right, and
yeah.
and that, you know, when you look at the DVOA numbers, no, they're going to get steamrolled. Except for one thing, Carolina they're the little engine that could overachieve all year, and they've done so.
Yeah.
And also, that's a team that came from the dirt. They have a chance to win the division in the NFC South, which is a division typically noted for worst to first. Here's Carolina giving that a go. And they believe in Carolina. Belief can overcome DVOA in many, many instances. And then meanwhile, you got Seattle, a team that no matter where they go on the road, they want to win 9-7 and go home with a W. And so this is about Carolina and 7.5 to me. And that's kind of where I would look in a game that's playoff kind of a game. And you're going to give me the home team. The West Coast team got to travel all the way across to the East Coast. Everything there, to me, is an elixir for a Carolina wager.
It's not just traveling from the West Coast. The farthest possible point on the West Coast to travel across to the East side as well for the Seahawks. I don't know. I kind of think the Panthers, Panthers are kind of live in this game. We saw the Niners go to Carolina and struggle and lose, recently. So I kind of wonder if that's a play there, and kind of validated it. From that perspective. Cardinals, Bengals, we're a local team, of course. We've got to talk about them, but, 12 losses on the season, haven't won at all. 1-7 at home. I know this is on the road here. This team is just, I guess you could say they fought to the end on Sunday, even though they gave up a lead here at this point. But Bengals are looking good right now with Joe Burrow. They, of course, won big last weekend in this game coming up as well. Bengals are 7-point favorites coming into this game, Lou. Is there any hope at all that there's something we can look at in this game as Cardinals fans to give us hope?
Yeah, you're going to have a 3-ring circus. There's going to be points all over this place. What's the elixir for any offense, let alone the Cardinal 22-ranked offense? And that's the 31st ranked Cincinnati defense. Last I knew, Joe Burrow didn't play safety or linebacker, so he's not going to help him on that side of the ball. This thing going to be a circus. I look for backdoor. I like the Cardinals here.
Really? +7?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
And I'm going to be real. I'll be real patient and wait for 7.5 or 8 come game day.
Well, I was going to ask you, so the over-under on this game right now is 53.5. What was the opening line on that for that to go? Because the Bengals scored a lot of points last week, so I'm wondering if it's moved up a little bit based off of that.
Yes, sir, it has. 51.5. Two
Okay.
ticks. That's a lot. That's a lot. The other thing you might want to do is look at teasing that down. No real heavy weather indications in Cincinnati, which is what you would worry about from a warm dome team going north.
Yeah.
No wind, really. Going to be a little cold. Cards could play in that.
Yeah, the cold, semi-cold you can kind of play in, as a warm weather team. It's like you said, the other stuff that factors into it, coming into it this weekend here. Then you got Steelers-Browns. I'm only asking about this game because Steelers' big win, of course, over the weekend. 9-6, vying for that division here. Browns have played tough the last couple of weeks and stayed in and stuff. Should you worry about the Steelers this weekend if you're looking at that game? 3.5-point favorites, division online. By the way, over under on this game, 33.5. So it's going to be a 9-6 type of a ball game, right?
Yeah, after 35.5 opener. So we get it. And there is a little weather and wind in Cleveland. That ain't going to affect either of these two teams. This is going to be, two guys with sledgehammers hitting the same steel spike. Bang, 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 bang. End of 60 minutes, you got 12-13. That's what this game is. I like Cleveland in the game. Pittsburgh looks so dominant and everything on the road. Now they turn around and come back, go on the road again into Cleveland, a team that has a great defense. Cleveland just needs, they're not that far away. I think, Sanders hasn't had that much chance. Boy, what could that kid do if they gave him some tools? You had the young man, Judkins, I think is his last name, just hurt himself, the running back. Boy, it's a tough go in Cleveland, but I look for this thing to just be a slog fest, and you got to take the points if it's over 4 points.
Okay, and so wait till 4. I don't know. I know right now it's 3.5 on FanDuel, but it's 3.5 minus 120 right now. So you say wait till the 4?
Well, I see fours currently.
what I was
So
gonna
there's a
ask. So
four at
you actually see
Caesars,
them?
there's a four at MGM, there's a four at Hard Rock. So there's fours, and this look ahead was 4.5. So wise guys, early bettors have taken a little sniff of Cleveland, and I agree with that lean.
Okay. Jaguars Colts. I mean, to me, the Jaguars are winning this game. Jaguars are winning this game fairly easily. Vegas has it at 6.5 points, but we talked about Phillip Rivers earlier. I mean, the Colts have just melted down. They're going to miss the playoffs here coming up. We're all rooting for Phillip Rivers, but the Jaguars, they're pretty safe to win this division. I don't know if they've officially clinched it, but they're in position to win this division now as well. In this game, anything to look at here with the 6.5 point number for the Jags?
Yeah, they're in position to win the division, but
Mm-hmm.
these two teams fight tooth and nail. It's division hatred, and Jacksonville's on the road after this huge momentum, huge lift. There's nothing but belief. They're flying high, and Indy isn't yet mathematically out of the playoffs, are
No.
they, Steve?
No, they're on the bubble. They have a 2% chance according to the ESPN calculations. Here, what do they have here? Some 8 wins, I think, right now. So I mean,
Well, I
9
think
wins. Oh no, 8 wins. So I mean, they're 3 games back with 2 to go. So
Yeah, I love this is probably my best bet of the week. Indianapolis plus the 6.5.
Okay.
I love them. They got a good offensive line. They got a running game. Yeah, they're going the wrong way and they're playing poorly these last few games. But this big game turns them around and all the momentum
Yes.
changes, guys. And I like Rivers. And you got to think Rivers come off his couch 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Last week, he looked great, but he's got to be beat up. I mean, it takes 6 weeks for NFL guys to get used to the bruising and contusions you get, and he's just this 44-year-old guy out there slinging it. So I think that I really like Indy in this spot. There's no quit in Indy, and Jacksonville's got a tough task on their minds. If they can go up there and win by 3, they throw a party. And I'm getting 6.5.
Perfect. Let's skip ahead to some more competitive games. Eagles Bills this weekend, Sunday afternoon, 2:25 p.m. kickoff here for this game. Eagles, of course, have clinched the division as of last week. Bills still battling it out there with their 11 wins to battle for that number 1 seed, let alone battling it with the Patriots in that division here coming up. Eagles at Bills this weekend. Right now, Bills are 2.5 point favorites at home. Tell us about this one, Lou.
Well, I have the season total under 11.5. I'm probably going to lose that with the Bills.
Okay.
I also have the 12.5. So this is a huge game for me. I look at DVOA numbers, and there's only one team that doesn't quite fit. Philly 14-0, 4 on D. Buffalo 5-0, great running game. 24 on D with the 31st ranked run defense. Unfortunately, Philly hasn't run the ball effectively all year. Will they be able to take advantage of that soft underbelly for Buffalo? I don't know. More than likely, I'll be in some form of Buffalo money line play with a parlay or something to help ease the pain of that 11.5, because they're probably going to win one of the last 2 to go over that 11.5.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Now, if Philly can go in there and win, now I really set myself up to be able to get out of that bet next week.
Yeah.
But my heart says Philly, but my wallet will probably have some form of Bills money line money.
The wallet always interferes, right? Then we got your Chicago Bears going all the way to San Francisco here, 2 11-4 teams battling it out here for number 1 seeds, let alone division wins and all of that stuff. Very important game for both of these teams. Sunday Night Football here on Sunday night here for these two teams. Right now, the spread is -3 to the Niners at home. Over under in this game is 51.5. Coming up, to me, it's pretty simple. 49ers or Bears get turnovers. Bears are going to win this game. Niners don't turn the ball over. They have a really good shot, probably going to win the game from that side. I'm breaking it down pretty simple here, Lou. What's the play?
I don't know that you're simple sometimes the best. You got 2 great offenses here and 2 putrid defenses. And so I look for points. It opened 50.5 a week ago. It's now 51.5.
Mhm.
This is absolutely a circus game. That said, 51 is still a pretty decent amount. How do I attack it? Maybe by looking first half over and trying that. If you looked last night, it was a circus in the first half between those teams last night. So I think one thing that I can tell you for sure about this game is you're going to get some perks. Two offenses that can play and two defenses that are relatively inept and need to be covered up and hidden.
Good way of putting it from that side. Caleb Williams and his throws, man, putting those things like DJ Moore in overtime. That throw was ridiculous. He's coming into his own from that perspective at times as he plays out there. Lou, as we wrap up here, appreciate you joining us. You'll be back next Tuesday as well.
Before you got your.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Finish this up with the 3-pick, Dale. Come on, Dale.
No, you were saying
Let
goodbye.
me host this thing.
You were saying goodbye.
Yeah. So this is going to be released on VSIN later today. So those guys, any of those subscribers will get it. I want us to have it. It involves a Christmas game. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Denver and Kansas City up 10 points, and we're going to go under 46.5 because I don't think Kansas City going to score but 3 points against this Denver defense. Then we're going to go to the Chargers, given 2.5. Perfect setup. I moved that 7. Now I got the Chargers at 7.5. And then last, New York Jets, New England. I'm taking that from 42.5 up to 52.5. I'm going to go under based on just complete Jet ineptitude and the fact that, I get it that Vrabel's team doesn't play D, but the elixir for a poor D is the Jet offense. So those are staggered across time zones. So if we can get the first one, then you get the Chargers. Now you go into New England and the Jets at 52.5. That number could come down by then. We have options. You can go over in the first half. You can go over for the game and try and play middles should you choose. The key is by spanning time zones, you create options for yourself when you're moving NFL point spreads by 10 points.
There you go, Dale. There's your play for this weekend, and everybody out there. Lou, like I said, you'll join us next Tuesday. Wrap up this well, and we'll have a clearer playoff picture going into next week. And it's going to be a battle here for the one, so all important out there. Have a great couple days here and holidays, getting into your new house and celebrating Christmas with all that chaos, Lou. Appreciate it very much, and we'll see you next week.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Dale, Steve, Kobe, Riley, everybody. Thank you. We'll see everybody next week.
You got it. Thanks you very much, Lou. For everybody else, we got Bruce Cooper, local legend Bruce Cooper, coming our way here in the second hour. So come on back. Main event.
Chomping at the bit.
Yes, he is.